You know that feeling when someone tells you not to do something, and your brain immediately thinks, well, now I have to. That's exactly what happened to me last Tuesday. My wife Emma called me that morning and said, "Don't come to my office today, just stay home." I know what you're thinking. Most husbands would just shrug and binge Netflix or mow the lawn. But me, I'm the kind of guy who reads between the lines, sometimes too much. And her tone, it wasn't casual. There was a weight there, like she was carrying a secret I wasn't supposed to know. So, yeah, I went. I parked 2 blocks away from her office, trying to be invisible, like a private investigator in a cheap detective movie. I watched the building, waited, fidgeted, texting my best friend. This is either going to be epic, or I'm about to ruin my marriage. Around 10:15, she came out of the building. She looked normal, beautiful, smiling at someone I couldn't see from the street. And then he appeared. A man I didn't know, tall, sharp suit, confident. He didn't notice me, but I noticed him. And the way Emma leaned into him, laughed at something I couldn't hear. I felt my chest tighten. I wanted to confront her. I wanted to run away. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I stayed hidden, watching as she slipped into his car. My brain raced. Why did she tell me not to come? Was it so I wouldn't see this, or did she think I wouldn't come if she said that? I don't know how long I sat there, but when her phone buzzed, she immediately leaned over to check it, her face lighting up. And that's when I saw the text preview, just the first few words. But enough. Can't wait to see you again tonight. Everything I'd thought about our marriage, the small arguments, the late nights, the little distance creeping in, it all came crashing down. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I didn't even recognize my own wife anymore. But here's the thing about secrets. They demand action. So I followed them. I followed them to a small downtown bar, the kind with dim lighting and cheap cocktails. I didn't think I'd see them kiss, but I did. And it wasn't subtle, not the kind of accidental brush of hands. No, it was deliberate, bold, and it shattered me. I left before she noticed. My car felt like a coffin. Every streetlight flickered judgment at me, and when I got home, I just sat on the couch, staring at the empty coffee cup she always left in my spot, pretending the last hour didn't happen. Later that night, Emma came home, smiling like everything was normal. She hugged me, kissed me on the forehead, asked how my day was, and I realized I could never look at her the same way again. Not today, not tomorrow. But here's the real kicker. As much as I wanted to yell, to confront, to demand the truth, I didn't. Not yet, because part of me, a terrifying part, was still holding out hope. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe I was wrong. But deep down, I knew the truth had already written itself in the corners of her office, in the smile she shared with him, in the text I saw too late. And the only thing left for me to do was decide, fight, forgive, or walk away. And maybe, just maybe, the hardest part isn't discovering the betrayal. It's deciding what to do with it. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept replaying everything. Her words, his laugh, the way her hand lingered a second too long on his arm. My mind went in circles. Do I confront her tomorrow? Do I pretend I don't know? By morning, I decided I had to act normal. Coffee, shower, pretend like nothing had happened. She came into the kitchen, hair tied back, sipping her own coffee, humming softly. My stomach twisted. I wanted to reach across the counter, touch her hand, and feel for the warmth I once knew. But I couldn't. The day dragged. I kept checking my phone, hoping, foolishly, that she'd text me something, anything, that might explain, I don't know, a misunderstanding. But no messages came. Just the silence, heavy and mocking. By the afternoon, my curiosity got the better of me. I decided to go back to her office, not to spy. Okay, maybe a little, but this time I needed answers. I parked further away, keeping to the shadows, heart thumping like a drum in my chest. I saw him again, her coworker, the stranger who somehow felt like an intruder in my marriage. And she looked at him in a way I hadn't seen in years. That deep, soft gaze reserved for someone who knows all your secrets. My chest tightened. I felt a sick realization settling in. This wasn't about work. This was about desire, connection, betrayal. And then I made the mistake. I stepped too close. My shoe clicked on the pavement. Both of them turned. Their smiles froze. Her eyes widened just a fraction before she quickly masked it, but it was too late. I saw it. The truth couldn't hide anymore. I didn't say a word. I didn't run. I just watched, feeling everything inside me fracture like glass. And in that moment, I realized the worst part wasn't catching her. It wasn't even the betrayal. The worst part was realizing I had been blind to the little things, the texts she hid, the late nights, the way she smiled at him, the way she used to smile at me. I drove home in silence, the city blurring past me. Every red light, every honking horn, it was like the world itself was reminding me nothing would ever be the same. When I got home, the house smelled normal, dinner on the counter, the faint scent of her perfume lingering in the air. She walked in, cheerful, oblivious to the storm inside me, and I realized something terrifying. I could never look at her the same way again. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. So I did the only thing I could. I smiled. I hugged her. I kissed her on the forehead, pretending everything was okay. And I knew, as I held her, that my life had split into two. The life I thought I had and the life I'd have to navigate now, knowing the truth. Because some betrayals aren't loud. They don't come with screams or confrontations. Some betrayals are quiet. They whisper in your chest, in the shadowed corners of your mind, reminding you that the person you love is no longer entirely yours. And the hardest part, figuring out if you want them back at all, or if it's time to walk away.